following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
There you go. Welcome into Darlington Raceway as we get ready for throwback night here at the Lady in Black. The track too tough to tame, and so many nicknames around this track as we get you ready for Monday Night Racing here on the Captain Esports Network here from Darlington. It is Sim500 Racing as we kind of have a throwback night for you. That's why you saw the old intro. That video was made according to what I've seen, 17 years ago, basically, when these guys were doing the whole thing on the NR 2003 and so on and so forth. So there's a little remix for you from that, and then, of course, into what you've seen so far this season in Sim500 Racing. I am the captain. We welcome you in on this Monday evening as we get ready to go racing here on Throwback Night. You're going to see a lot of throwback schemes, a lot of modern schemes that you see in actual NASCAR, and so on and so forth here this evening. But the other modern thing we get to see here this evening is the voice of Kevin England, who joins us. Hello, Kevin. Welcome in as you're fresh off a top 10 here at Darlington last night in the NIS race, a setup that's very tricky, and it's made the series move this to a night race tonight, but one that's still going to race just like typical Darlington.
Yeah, you can't escape the brutality that is Darlington Raceway. Two separate corners, two separate ways to attack the racetrack. You're racing both the racetrack itself and the drivers. Racing here is like a dance with the lady in black. It starts out as a ballet, and then the racetrack tries to finish you off. But by the end of the race, the lady in black gets a bit goth, and it turns into a death metal thrash. Because I'll tell you what, you race so hard at the end of this race that you try to finesse the whole way to figure out how to get to the corner, how not to bang the fence, how to get off and carry speed, how to execute the pass. But at the end, you're trying to do that dance with the pedals and the shifting, but at full blast, on full tilt. And Chris, I can't think of a better way to spend a Monday night than watching the NC811 Cup Series stars try to wrestle this racetrack. It's going to be a blast.
It is going to be a blast. As always, we're looking forward to 200 miles and 147 laps of racing here around the track again. Too tough to tame. That is what we have in store coming up here in just a few moments. However, we got to share some news that broke out earlier this week here on in Sim500, and it kind of has to do with last week at Kansas. What do you know? Kansas having another controversial finish, just like it did in the Cup Series race with the painted lines and so on and so forth, all these different things that kept on going. Well, we're going to show you a video. Kevin King, as you know, went to victory lane in the race at Kansas last Monday night. However, there is a rule in the rule book that states on a restart, you cannot go below the line before the start-finish line on the restart. So here we go. I'm going to show you the video here, and then I'm going to make sure I mute it real quickly here. So Kevin King's going to take the restart here, and when he goes green here, watch what he does. He immediately goes down below the white line here. Now, you see Calantoni, you see Kelly, and a couple others make that move too. I talked to the admins about that move. So, basically, Kevin King was disqualified. So was Jose Gonzalez, because Jose also did the same move there. That was the replay of it. I'm going to show you it one more time here, and you'll see Jose back there in the Miami Dolphins car. He goes down below the line. However, Calantoni and Mike Kelly was ruled to be forced down below the line. That was the difference in the call there. So that's where you see Calantoni pull down. You see Gonzalez is already down there going across the line. So basically, that's the call that was made. So Kevin King forced to the back. He gets disqualified. David Comstock officially gets the win. So what does that do to the point standings? Well, it kind of crumbles it up together a little bit here. Tyler Dalton, 20 points back now. Chad Coleman, 23 back. 43 back. Mike Kelly, Richard Beasley there, top 5 in points. It doesn't do anything different with the bubble, really. It is still Robert Friery and Rod Mitten there tied. Of course, Kevin Brown, Nick Jobs, Cody Giles, Rod Alasso, all there crumbled up into the point standings. And, of course, Kevin, I just kind of shared this news with you as you came in with the ruling and stuff that came into play there. Obviously a tough call to make in that situation, but that's actually a rule too in real life in NASCAR, that you cannot go down there before you get to the start-finish line.
Yeah, and I think, sometimes you look at that and you go, come on, you got to give it a break, but it's there for a reason. And specifically what you don't want is people dive bombing turn one, turn one heroes. You really do not care to have people being 2, 3, 4 wide. That's to limit some of that going on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's times when you see checkups and people, it becomes a judgment call, but you do what you could do. I hate to see that for Kevin. It seems like a technicality, but, you got to enforce the rules, Chris. That's the way the world works. So we move on to Darlington. I'm sure Kevin was not pleased to hear that. But he'll come out and put a whooping on him tonight.
That's what could happen this evening. Usually when somebody's mad, and they'll usually come back out here and light a fire under something. So we'll see what they do here tonight in the race. But first, we're going to go down here and qualify. Of course, our qualifying presented by 811. Know it's blow and call before you dig. So let's check out some of these paint schemes we have. Let's start with Chad Coleman. One of the cooler paint schemes. You're going to see 2 versions of it tonight here on the track, and this is the Nerf 38 car. Yes, you remember the old Nerf paint car, or the ball, and all the different Nerf items that used to be out. Of course, you still get a bunch of them you get in the toy sections, but there's Coleman in the Nerf number 38 car. But talk about this lap here. It's a tricky one here, Darlington. Some shifting involved too. As Coleman comes through 3 and 4 and brings it off the corner, Jose Gonzalez, 28.76. He is at the top right now of the standings. And Chad Coleman, 29.12. Should be able to go faster on his second lap as the tires heat up. Van Scheidt goes to the pole to 75. Now, with it being nighttime, I'd kind of wait a little bit here for this track to heat up. Or not track to heat up, but more just to let the track cool down a little bit, get as much grip as possible. As Fuller goes to the pole with a 51, Gonzalez with a 60. Stoney Benfield is there. Chad Coleman, 28.53. And here comes Kevin King, fresh off this penalty, and he might run like a 27. Just an angry lap. If he pulls that off, that would be interesting to see, but I don't think he will. Maybe, could it be if you don't hit the wall, you about got it. So, I don't know.
Every inch.
49 or 50 here potentially. If not, let's see. I just noticed the qualifying things aren't up on my screen for some reason.
Turns the car down and sweep. Yeah, perfect. Turn 4. And to the top. 28.4,
45. Wow.
Yeah.
Half a tenth. And he's going for 2.
We see laps down in the 29.2s when you're in the draft in the race itself, but a or a 28.2, but a 28.4 in qualifying. That is holy man.
Kevin in the green right now, which means he's going faster. Oh, by the way, just went purple. He just went faster. 28.34.
Wow. Wow. That's astonishing.
That's an angry lap right there is what they call that.
Angry. Wow.
EJ O'Rourke in the 21 car out on track here. As he crosses the start-finish line, and oh, look at that. Adam Benefield with a 28.42. Well, all of a sudden, these late guys coming out on track are just laying laps down here. You know, it's one thing you're not used to when you have an afternoon race, Kev, is the track heats up, so you want to get your lap in early. These guys are waiting because the track's cooling down. EJ goes to 28.851 on his lap. Justin Mons, all these guys completing laps. It looks like everybody's pretty much going to be done here pretty early with all the qualifying and getting ready for the race. So that's going to allow us to go ahead and go trackside here, and let's get the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, warm-up going on right now as we finish up the national anthem and get you ready to go racing. And let's go ahead real quickly and pull up our pole sitter. Dare we? This could be interesting. Let's see if I can find Kevin in chat here. He might not be in here. Do you see Kevin's name? I sure don't. Maybe down here? No, that's Kevin King right there, I think. Yeah, if you find it, let me know. I don't see him in Discord here, so he might not be in here. So, is that him down there? Oh, that's right, Team Conti. How did I forget that? All the way down at the bottom there. Well, all right, so we'll get a chance here with them hopefully before the start. But right now, let's go to the national we already did the anthem. Let's go to the starting lineup here. As Kevin, 39 cars going to start this race. And Kevin King, 28.34 on the pole, alongside Adam Benfield there on the outside of the front row. Justin Fuller, Wesley Donaldson, row 2. Tyler Dalton, Chad Coleman in row 3. Row 4, Cody Giles, Jason Carlavage, and Jose Gonzalez and Stoney Benfield there in the 5th row. Row 6, Anthony Calantoni and Eric Arnold. Scott Simley, Mike Kelly, Joey Jatina, Charles Van Schaik there in row number 8. Row 9, Brian Macklin and Bobby Wetzel, Mike Montesi, David Comstock, Nelson Rivera, Justin Mons, Glenn Campbell, Joey Stone in row number 12. Row 13, Scott Stenzel, Robert Friery, EJ O'Rourke, Kevin Stone, Rod Benton, Joe Hudson, Alan Wild, and Richard Beasley. Josh Parker, Patrick Colby, Matt Rodolasso, Randy Oakham, Doug Sigmund, Brian Wortman, Gerald Livingston. Those guys about to run 147 laps, 200 miles, 3 sets of tires, 2 overtimes if needed here tonight. Of course, all the information, if you didn't see the intro video, is at sim500.com. This intro, I'm like out of it tonight. The start of this race is going to be very interesting because now you got to sort it out and get to turn number 1. We had 8 cautions in this race last season, Kevin. As we come off turn 4.
Yeah, trouble spot in turn 1 when you get in there side by side on the first lap, cold tires. You just got to be patient. But the person down below, be careful. The person up above, be careful. And by all means, be really careful coming off turn 2 on this first lap.
As the green rolls, Kevin King and Justin Fuller real quickly clear into turn 1. Our cameras tonight, as usual, presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook in the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. As everybody gets sorted out pretty well for the most part, giving each other room, race to track. That's so key around this place.
Yeah, King out front for the first lap, holding his own
caution.
over Justin Fuller. And yeah, we got one on the inside wall. It's the 44 of Glenn Campbell at the start-finish line.
First caution, Glenn Campbell goes for a solo spin. Can't tell if he got any damage. But Glenn Campbell throwing back to last week for his car. And I don't see any damage on the 44.
Yeah, just a little high pushed up out of turn 4, got into Stone, and the two of them little rinky-dink there, and he did nose it into the wall, got quite a bit of right side and front damage, but able to drive the Trans-Surface Camaro away, and he'll take it to the attention of his crew. Not sure, though, if he has a toe link broken there. It's hard to tell.
Let's add the cars of Robert Friery and the 42 of Scott Stenzel to the damage list here on this wreck. You see him, can't tell if the 44 actually went up the track or if the 7 come down, but either way they make the contact there. Everybody else just kind of piles in. Let's get you a better cam for the shot here and show you one more again as you see them down the back straightaway here. Right behind Rivera, Justin Mons, and a Davey Allison throwback.
But down into turn 3 underneath the 7 and just, drifted up and...
Who is that flowing through there?
Little plunk to the nose.
I think, was that Josh Parker? The only way I know this because he's got this Frito-Lay's paint scheme tonight that you cannot miss.
Olay.
Some might think he's racing with a chip on his shoulder tonight.
Nice.
Thank you. All that in a bag of chips. Yikes!
Wow. They were 4 wide at one point trying to get around
I think there were 5 wide, Kev.
Well, not including the 44 down there, right?
Well, yeah, it's true. Let's see this again. Rack avoidance right here. Doug Sigmund coming to pit road.
Yeah, I don't think there was a ton of damage on that 44.
No, not at all.
Far over, they got everything sorted out. Probably about 25 to 30 seconds worth of TLC, and that Trans-Surface Camaro drove away, and Campbell's going to join in one more time. And I don't think that's the end of these little fracasses that we're going to see here all night as
1, 2, 3.
the narrow racetrack, right? The narrow racetrack, Chris, you're on top of everybody. So after the restarts for the first 10 laps or so until things kind of single out, you have to really be up on the wheel and anticipate. And it's hard. The sight lines are hard to see when things occur, especially off of turn 2.
Yeah, it can be.
Although I have to say, don't you think it's easier to see in the dark?
You would think with the lights and things, but and of course the track kind of contrasts. But the one thing you cannot see, if you look down at the bottom of the wall, there's no like color that separates the wall from the track. If you go back to like trying to think of one of the recent NASCAR races here, where you were able to see the color at the bottom of the Dover race, for instance. You could see they put a blue at the bottom of the wall, so you could separate the surface and the wall. And I think that would be an interesting trick here, so that you don't go up there and pound it. Which, let's face it, we're all going to hit it at one point here tonight. But Kevin King
peels off. Kevin King going to take him back with Fuller to his outside. So far down the straightaway is the Geico restart zone that he picked it up right at the end there.
Yeah, got a good launch there on Fuller, and then Benfield there going to back out there and take the third position here. Wesley Donaldson there in a I thought it was a Mark Martin throwback. It's actually a Kyle Busch throwback. You go back to his 84 days when he made his debut in the Cup Series for Hendrick Motorsports, is what that paint is there on the 91 car.
Cool looking Wendy's scheme there on Patrick Colby's car. Not that that's a throwback, but it's just a neat look.
Well, and one thing Joey encouraged during the week before the race is he actually encouraged drivers to maybe change it up a little bit, do a modern paint scheme of like a car that's being ran in current Cup Series. So that's where you're seeing that Wendy's scheme, which is Noah Gregson, I believe now, and then you have Kevin Stone, who's actually on pit road. He's got a Chris Buescher paint. So you're seeing a
throwback there for Cal and Tony.
Yeah, no kidding. So you're getting some modern paint. You're getting some of the teams that run their own sponsored paints. You got some throwbacks in here. We got a whole mixed bag of sorts here. We got 23 of Charles Van Schaik with the Adam Petty, who unfortunately yesterday was the anniversary of him passing away 24 years ago in that wreck in New Hampshire.
Yeah, congratulations to them on their charity ride. Heard that went really well. I'm wearing a Race for Victory t-shirt. We used to do a charity race back in the day, and all the proceeds went to the Victory Junction gang. So every time that happens, I get really excited to see that.
Bobby Wetzel got into the outside wall trying to get into the corner there in turn one, and that cost about 4 or 5 spots. Mons goes by. You see the Trans-Service car of Campbell going by. Stenzel he's having all types of issues back there. Beasley going by and a few others. Alan Wild and no way to say this. Wad Button throwback.
Wad Button. Wetzel drops back here to 29th. He just kind of pulled the chute, I think, and went back to the back of the field. This is a type of racetrack when you're running, you see somebody right on your back bumper, you really don't want to mess around with it. You really just want to pull by, wave them by. Hope they run their tires off and you can come back to them.
Race to track, not race to car, right?
Yeah. Although giving up all those positions, when you get back to their bumper, will they pay you the same courtesy? Sometimes that's not the way it goes. So. Now it's single filed out. Now the trouble is off of turn 2. You see these drivers, they roll in, wide up the banking, they get right to the turn-in point, they let off the gas, turn down because you need to be at the bottom of 2 and let the car come off. And when you turn down, a lot of times the car gets really loose. You float it up out to the backstretch fence, and that's when you pick up the throttle. But it's so easy to miss that and come off turn 2, get sideways, and there'll come a point in this race where we'll see a car down along the inside fence probably every other lap as they just really struggle to get through turn 2 with worn tires.
And of course, turn 2 used to be turn 4 back in the heyday. But yeah, turn 2, this is the corner got me last night. You get so slow in this corner. You're so used to carrying your speed. And it got to a point during the race last night, you had to brake a little bit into turn 1, so you're not carrying much speed through the center of 1 and 2, and then you get back off the gas, and I just shortcut basically turn 2 and caught the apron and went up and slapped the outside wall, and unfortunately a couple guys piled in. I felt terrible for them. Yeah, it's easy mistakes to do, especially in my case. I've not run an NIS race outside of Daytona and Talladega since Charlotte last May. So this was different running this car in a non-super speedway race.
Yeah, and the funny thing about this racetrack is it's like 70 million feet wide because they were meant to race down on the flat.
There.
Yeah. And now they race up on the banking. The banking was supposed to be the area that was going to catch a car if it was in trouble. In the early days, they did race down there, but now, of course, they run right up against the fence. And yes, the Darlington stripe is real. You will get up into the fence, especially in 3 and 4 if you miss your entry. Now, one of the things we talked about in practice, apparently the cars are really tight. Cars do not want to turn. You wear that right front, and you'll see a lot of drivers compensating by stomping on the brake to get the car slowed so you don't slam into the banking here. The banking not that severe, but banking is banking. And a lot of times when you drive in to turn 1, 25 degrees, it'll hold it because it's a large sweeping turn, but 23 degrees in turn 3 and 4, the turn is so tight there, Chris, that you tend to really abuse the right front tire if you carry a lot of speed in there.
You have to back up that corner a lot unless you have a good braking method in this car. I know I was backing up the corner really early because I was tending to go up there and kind of flick the wall a little bit myself. And you're going to get some cars that are out here shifting right now at the moment. And almost as we go longer and longer into this run, they're going out there and, I mean, almost running the whole entire lap in 4th gear. And hey, speaking of modern paint schemes, look at this battle right here. You got the Rusty Wallace Mustang, which, by the way, you notice Mike Kelly put the number in the middle of the car. You have the Eric Arnold 31. You have the South Point colors there, Brendan Gaughan. You got the 14 Old Spice Tony Stewart car on Jatina. And then you got the Adam Petty car back there with Charles Van Schaik. Let's ride with the boss man here and see how he's currently doing here. You go helmet cam, you see him in 4th gear right now.
I think a lot of these drivers are going to run 4th. It helps them slow the car down. They downshift into 4th going into the corner, and then it lets them have the RPM band they want to get up and off the corner. Wow, that is tight going in there. You see cars side by side in 1 and 2, which
Don't
is
do it there. Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what we're talking about.
Where Harry Hyde, played by Robert Duvall, told Cole Trickle, don't go to the outside in turn 4. That's turn 2 now. So that was pretty gutsy on the call there by Eric Arnold to stay side by side with Stoney. Nice job by the faster pastor to get out of it there and make it another day. But you see how much momentum he lost. Joey went by him, Van Schaik went by him, and looky up here, a battle for the lead. Justin Fuller looking to get around Kevin King here. He's up to his back bumper. Got Adam Benfield, who's having a great run in that 83 car. Wesley Donaldson. And how about the 5th place car? Mr. Giles, who's kind of hit that rookie struggle bus, if you will, these last few weeks. He's missed a couple of races, but otherwise been kind of struggling. And caution. Stoney Benfield has gone around turn 4. Yep.
Yes. Oh, he killed it.
Yeah, that thing's done, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like, well, he'll be able to get it fixed, but he's not going to be on the pace. Not sure if he had a little help there. He was in that tight battle with the 22 of Nelson Rivera. He had the 21 underneath him.
Mons all over his bumper, doing a great job getting off the brakes there. EJ with a little bit of a slider, and then, and Montesi into the wall hard. Oh, and add Stenzel to the damage list.
I have to go back and look at that a little closer and see, did he get loose or something? What was the situation that allowed everybody to close up on him so quickly?
We're going to look right now.
Maybe the 21 coming up in front of him, he let off and tried to turn down.
I think that's exactly it.
Fortunately, they were side by side right behind him with no place to go. He turned across the nose of Montesi. You could tell Montesi didn't dink him because Montesi and the 41 were carrying about the same speed down there.
Just a tough break.
That's Darlington. I don't, unfortunately for Stenzel, he cleaned him out. There's no personal comfort there.
Not at all. So we're going to step
I
away.
love the way Montesi knocked the bumper cover away.
Slightly. Hey, we're going to step away for a second here from 811. We'll come back and try to get a word with Kevin King, who is actually one of about 5 or 6 leaders to come to pit road here. We'll come back and get you to restart here on lap 24 on the Captain Esports Network.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities? I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
All right, back we are here at the Darlington Raceway. Caution out for the second time. And we had some pit stops. Robert Friery, or no, sorry, those cars pitted earlier. So Kevin King, Wesley Donaldson, Cody Giles, Patrick Colby, all these cars coming to pit road here. And I believe we're at 2 to go this time, so we should be able to sneak a word in here real quick as we promised. With the guy who won the 811 pole award this evening, as he hides all the way down here in Myrtle Beach in his channel on Discord here. Let's get a quick word with the Team Conti driver, Kevin King. Kevin, obviously, congrats on the pole with 811, of course, there, but obviously a little challenge now as you're mid-pack here. How are you feeling about the car and the strategy here?
It's typical. I mean, you can't go yellow at a track that doesn't bring out yellows. So, I mean, they were going to do opposite of what I did anyways. I was just kind of riding around like 60% right there. So, took fuel only because it'll be a tire gamble anyway. So we'll see what happens here. Just make some moves to get towards the front again, and then see what happens from there. I'm sure I'll get past some tires from behind, but yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's like you run these races and it just turns into just a tire gamble versus outright pace, which is a little frustrating, but it is what it is.
So you and I shared a secret with everybody how you ran that 3?
Determination. I got DQ'd last week because the guys around me started the race and pushed me below the line, so not too thrilled with that. So kind of made it a point to
an angry lap.
Try to go a lot harder now than I was before, and so we'll see how that ends up this race, but definitely the rest of the season I'm going to be trying a little bit more now than I was before, just try to make a point.
Absolutely. Hey, best of luck to you, man. Sorry to see that happen.
Thank you.
But yeah, best of luck, man. Going great.
Appreciate it.
And Kevin King, appreciate him joining us here this evening. We'll get him all the way back down to Myrtle Beach where his channel is. And
that is a long
it's all the way down there. Man, you could hear the frustration in his voice in that call. But I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that 3 came from just being, because it's, I don't know what it is, but it's like when you get angry over something, and you're in, like, especially here in iRacing, like, you find like another 10th or 2. But the problem is when you find that 10th or 2, you're on the edge of like about to wreck any minute because you're going to make a mistake.
Yeah, you're on kill, no doubt.
So Tyler Dalton is going to lead this race in that Casey Kane throwback, or Jason Leffler throwback. You can call it so many, but it's more of a Kane throwback when he was in the 5 car. Justin Fuller second. Carlavage, Chad Coleman.
Fuller's leading, but he chose the outside.
That's right. Yep, I stand corrected there. Thank you. Chad Coleman, Anthony Calantoni, your top 5.
Into turn 1. One more time. Let's see if we can come out the other side clean and green. Charging down to the backstretch. Fuller out now. He did not elect to pit like Kevin did, and I stand corrected in the context of wanting tires. I think it's a little too early. I agree with Kevin's call, the other Kevin. If you were in NIS, you got 6 sets of tires, and that's equal out to about every 20-something laps, but they only have 4 sets here tonight, so you're going to want fresh tires for that last run. The magic is try to figure out when will that last one come.
As I mentioned, this race last year had 8 cautions. Now, this race also last year was only 140 laps. This is the second time now that this race is 147 laps, going back to the fall race where Josh Parker went to victory lane. That race only saw 5 cautions. So the logist here, and of course it's going to go totally opposite because that's what it's happened all season. I've talked about the races that have gone with not many cautions in the series history, and then all of a sudden cautions break out. So tonight I'm going to talk about how this race has cautions, and we'll probably go green the rest of the way here. But with that being said, as a couple cars scramble off turn 2. Last night it was discussed, and I think it's probably been discussed here, you can probably get to halfway on a set of tires if you take care of them. So halfway here is lap 73. So if you can get to lap 73, is this tempted to make this a one-stop race, Kevin?
I think some drivers are going to think that fresh tires are going to give them the leg up. If they get fresh tires and they can run through the field, King goes past
To 12.
81. I don't know. I feel like every once in a while you find that you run the car and it levels off. You find that zone and you're just clicking off the lap. Sometimes you're as fast as the leader. You hear what the leader's running and you're running as fast or faster somewhere in the back, and you're feeling great until somebody changes tires and they go flying by you. It's almost like when they walk past you in the Chili's with somebody with the sizzling steak and that smell with the onions, and all of a sudden there's 20 of them being ordered. It's that kind of thing when you see somebody go by with tires. Oh my gosh.
I think
you're like, well, I gotta go get me some of that.
That's the fajita, Joe.
Yeah, fajita, that too. You know exactly what I meant.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean by that. It's so true. It is so true. It's also like that. I mean, you kind of think of the scenario with the car. You go to buy a new car and you're sitting at the store and you're like, all right, here's this new Toyota RAV4, for example, still a car out there that has these special rims to them, these white and black doors and stuff. I've never seen this before. So cool. I'm gonna buy it. And then the next day you find 4 of them out there in front of you.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. Ooh, checking it.
Look at that charge. This is a. You get such a draft coming down the straightaway sometimes that you really just want to be at the bumper, because that's like some of the racetracks we see how you actually execute the pass. You're there at the bumper, you see a little slip of the car in front of you.
And you go.
You can stick your nose underneath, but a lot of drivers, if they see your nose underneath, they're not gonna hammer down next lap. They might be a little more careful because they know you're there and you take away their advantage. And you're gonna see a lot of pressure here. Pretty early to run super aggressive. And they also have to be mindful, of course, of taking care of their tires. But one of the things we want to talk about here is how the heck do you get on a pit road? Some of these drivers may not pit unless there's yellow, simply because they don't want to try and get off the banking and try and get into this pit road.
Basically, you have to brake entering turn 3, and what I usually like to do is turn down, and I like to run the inside wall and stay down that way, because I know eventually I'm going to get to the pit road wall, where if you're running out in the middle of the track out there trying to get the car turned down, that pit road will sneak up on you. Now, being asked in chat here, Tyler Brewer plays in YouTube, and then Aaron Thomas asking about throwback paint schemes. You're going to see a few. Matter of fact, here's one here. As I mentioned, Tyler Dalton in the Casey Kane throwback. This was actually a challenge done by Joey Jatina, who asked, hey, we're going to run throwbacks, obviously, for Darlington, which is fine. But he also encouraged drivers to throw on a modern NASCAR paint scheme, too. So that's where you're going to see some of these cars. Well, Scott Simley, there's nothing different there. Kevin King's got his own sponsor. That's why you see that. Here's the Blue Deuce of Mike Kelly, who's actually got the number in the middle of the car. That might make some people happy. Let's see what else we got. Eric Arnold's running a South Point Brendan Gaughan, Daniel Hemrick paint scheme that you see on like the College cars. Let's see what else we got. Mons has the Davey Allison, the Kyle Busch car of Wesley Donaldson's another one. And then the one that catches my eye, and I actually had to be reminded of this, being a guy that cheered on Casey Kane a little bit when I was a teenager in the early 20s and stuff like that, when he was driving, of course, for at that time Ray Evernham. You go back to this Josh Parker car. So I had totally forgotten this story. This Fritos car was set up to be ran in an Evernham Busch Series car at the time. Well, it was at the time where the Petty deal was all falling apart. Everything, the Gillette Evernham, everything was falling through. So they closed down the Busch car. So they had this sponsor deal they had to work out. So all of a sudden, you go back and you see this number 10 Toyota for Braun Racing with a Fritos paint scheme on it, and it was ran by Casey Kane at the time. in the 10 car for Braun Racing, and that's where this paint scheme comes from, that Frito-Lay's paint scheme. Totally forgotten that until somebody explained it to me.
I must have missed that one.
It was like 15 years ago or 10, something like that. Back here, this 28, that is Patrick Colby. Richard Beasley back here, Nelson Rivera. This is around the 20th position.
I have to believe that 74 Brian Workman's running a throwback here tonight.
He always does. He has to be.
I'm gonna
Oh,
guess
yeah.
it's
That's an Eric
Workman.
McClure paint scheme.
Ah, yeah. Okay, that's right. I was trying to put my finger on the color, and I could. Hefty, yes.
Yes. Yeah, it was the late Eric McClure. Of course, people remember him for, unfortunately, that nasty wreck at Talladega. And, of course, he passed away a couple years ago. That's a cool-looking paint there. As Kevin King up to fourth, Chad Coleman battling with Calentina. Calentoni. Calentina.
It sounds like a restaurant. Calentina. Oh, man, look at this. I just look at that, and it makes me, like, want to race and cringe at the same time.
No kidding, right? Hey, you're welcome, Casey. Glad I can help you with that story. Yeah, you got Jose Gonzalez in here. You got the big checkup going into the corner. Everybody just stomps on the brakes. I mean, there's a line of cars here. Cody Giles back here, by the way, too. Not sure what happened to him on the pit stops there, or if he just kind of got caught back. You see Benefield. Look at that nose damage on the 83 right there at the splitter.
I'm surprised, not surprised. Kevin King drove all the way back to fourth. He said he was running part way, but to drive past all those cars and come back to fourth.
Saw Macklin almost lose it there in turn one. That almost got a little scary for that field back there. The King with car lavage. That Speedway Collectibles car, and then Tyler Dalton back there as Justin Fuller's driven away to about a 2-second lead.
Yeah, that group back there for about 10 is just, that's a caution brewing right there. That is a nasty nest.
Oh! Macklin with a little head check to the 91.
There's the slip. You sit up straight in the seat when that happens. And you go, okay, here it comes. I was waiting for it.
I can only imagine what Tom Burrito said there. Can we get a quote there in chat, Mr. Burrito?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You float into that corner 20 times, and on the 21st time the car goes in and does something.
It does something different, right?
Really, like, you never know. Like a gust of wind, flap of a butterfly's wing, who knows what it is, but it is really strange.
And wrecking Robert Fryery has gone around.
He backed it in hard.
I was Coleman or Campbell in front of him, but then I see the 77 is sideways. Caution comes out as Robert Fryery, unfortunately.
Oof, that was a big hit.
Now, is that a throwback scheme when you traditionally throw this car on? Oh, the Yoakum gets in the side of the 92 here.
The 92 never really gathered it up here, you see.
Yeah, and Fryery just runs him over. Oh, and that wreck happened a lot slower than 10G.
That's just a mix of like really weird circumstances. One car being slow, the other one not wanting to give up speed.
Well, the first question is right here. Is this a block?
Sure seems it.
Hey, Wortman's like, guys, I can't go any lower.
Down here. But he drove in low and then tried to turn down to make the exit, not realizing the 77 was still carrying full momentum. And unfortunately for Fryery Custom Carpentry, he's going to need a plane and a saw. This is 4 tires and fuel right now.
Oh, absolutely. And it's just everybody, or a majority of people are coming in here. So, I don't know. I'm kind of baffled by that. Is that... It almost looked like that Probably we could have turned down more there. I know it's easier said than done with worn tires and Darlington, but
I think he probably thought he was going to stay up there. He didn't carry as much speed
that makes sense.
into the corner and could have stayed to the high side, but because he wasn't carrying speed, the car rotated, so he turned down from the center and was going to drive off straight and try and cover the spot, but unfortunately 77 had so much speed that he got there. And the melee ensued.
It did, and brings the caution out here for the third time.
King back on the stack right now, running the alternative strategy.
Well, there looks like there's 3 different strategies now. You got the people that pitted in the last caution, then you had the people that pitted at this caution. Kevin King pitted at last caution and this caution.
Well, that's interesting. And I'm not sure if he had some sort of issue there. Pulled down and came to a stop.
Well, that would give him, he's on 2 sets of tires already here, if that's the case, and you've got 100 laps to go. So, basically for him, he's got to, I don't know. That's something we're going to have to ponder here for a second, but let's step away and get another break in. We'll come back, get you more racing here from Darlington. You're watching the NC811.org Cup Series on the Captain Esports Network.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below. Before you dig, visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are here at Darlington. 49 laps complete in this 200-mile event, and a big shout out to Aaron Thomas for crediting my awesome turn 2 job last night in my NIS race, where I proceeded to try to knock the wall backwards. Didn't work. I felt worse for the 2 guys that I took out behind than I did myself.
I did the same thing Thursday night, so I don't feel bad.
Oh, we've all done that.
Done 20 times. You come off turn 2, like you said, just all of a sudden, whoa, go down, bang the inside wall, and then you're on for the ride, come across the racetrack and collect whoever's behind you.
Oh, mine wasn't that. Mine was I clipped the apron, hit the wall on the outside, and 2 cars piled in behind me. Yeah. I felt bad. Anyways,
Thunk.
I'm ready for Charlotte in 2 weeks. Let's go. And I'm ready for Indy. 2 for 1. Let's go, boys.
How do you get Charlotte?
How to respond to that. That's awesome, I guess.
I saw pictures of EJ O'Rourke in the unit car
Yeah.
on pit road with the unit driver.
At Timmy Hill.
Thought that was really cool.
Yeah, he was down there, it looks like, in Darlington there. I wonder if Fuller was with him, because I know last time they were at a track together, I think Fuller was there too. Either way. All right. Hey, how about we turn it up here for this restart? Caution comes right back out. Eric Arnold and others involved. Arnold, not sure. I just saw the 31 car sitting broad sideways in the middle of the track. And caution comes out again. The South Point car, unfortunately, going around. And that caution presented by Turn It Up. Let's see what happens here. Somebody get dead righted? Oh, Cody Giles. Add to the bad luck there. dash cam again here. Let's see. Turn 2, okay. You know what I think? Parker, I think, was trying to... I don't want to say it like this, but it looked like he might have been trying to go 3 wide on EJ. He looked at it. Because that's where, if you look, EJ kind of gets out of shape out of 2, and you see Parker gets to run here. And he kind of tries to... He's looking at the middle right here between he and Calantoni. Right there. You see the checkup from the 60. Yeah. That's what it looks like. Obviously. Tough break for the 31. I'm sure he's not going to be too thrilled about that. Giles gets pile driven. Yeah. And unfortunately, he watched his teammate for Ancient World Gaming. Unfortunately, I guess speaking gaming terminology here, he lost a life. Very nice.
James, if we can get into like a 6-8 lap run, but that first stint where they were running on top of each other around that 10th position, that was harrowing. Those guys were racing, 160, 170 miles an hour in pace lap formation, just trying to get whatever inch they could to get a pass. Hard to get through the field here sometimes, Chris, when they're all on top of each other running the same lap times.
Oh, absolutely. And when you have a fixed setup and you get driving talents that are so equal, like you see in this series, it can be so, yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, you think you can go out there and grab track position with fresh tires or whatnot, and it's a lot trickier than you think. And that's why you see the cream rise at the top, and you see strategy coming into play, and so on and so forth. But, hey, one thing I'm going to do, you're going to kind of see a new sponsor on the stream, actually, and this is outside of all the series and stuff, but if you're one that has no gloves or shoes or anything like that you wear when you're racing, you're going to see a link in the chat here in a minute for 40racewear.com. They're somebody that races now on my cars when I'm out there racing, but Jim Herrick runs the company, and you can go check out their shoes and gloves and so on and so forth that you use for sim racing. Believe it, Kev. Sim racing. Shoes and gloves. 40racewear.com. Yeah. So, going to put a link up there for in chat here, but make sure you mention my name, and who knows, you might get double charged because it's me, but I'm kidding on that part. Jim's a good guy.
I really feel like the right shoes do make a difference. How many times do you hear drivers say, my foot slipped off the pedal,
yeah,
whatever. They're racing in socks.
Yeah, and that was part of it, is the comfort of putting something on. These shoes, you feel like you're wearing almost like wrestling shoes. They're very light.
Yes.
You can walk around the house, I mean, I've even had people say they've gone to like go-kart tracks or whatever, and they forget their shoes and they throw those on, and they're okay. Now, they're obviously told you don't really want to wear them outside, but hey, still, to be able to wear a shoe that doesn't feel like a shoe in a sim rig or something, it's going to make you feel good, as these cars are all over the place as we go back green at 56.
Yeah, wrestling shoes, ASIC, some of the nicest shoes, comfortable shoes. And so I could get that. They are like racing shoes, and they're really great to have on your feet. As here we go again.
Fuller falling all the way back to the 5th position. Glenn Campbell, who, by the way, was the first caution tonight, he's 6th, with Jason Karlovage in 7th there. EJ O'Rourke now 8th, and these guys are really starting to pick it up here. 90 laps to go still. We still got to race the track. Don't forget it. There's a lady here. Be nice to her.
It's so hard to race off of turn 2 with a car to your inside. The car does not want to turn when someone's in your, taking the air off front of the car.
Wait a minute. How did Scott Stenzel get the third? He's been in 2 wrecks.
Yeah.
Kevin King, by the way, back to the front. Adam Benfield now second. With a damaged nose, by the way. And Stenzel, by the way, was leading this race. Let's go back and show you the pass here. It happened right here on the restart. King just gets a super run on the 42. And the reason why you're seeing Stenzel up there in the front, by the way, he and Wesley Donaldson have not pitted since lap 22 and 23. So I wanted to clean that up really quickly. That's where you're seeing some of these cars on older tires. Glenn Campbell's another one that pitted at 22. So some of these guys on older tires as Campbell got squeezed. So you're definitely seeing different strategies out here, Kev. I don't know. Oh, caution. Caution out for the 4th time, and this one,
28.
Randy Oakham and Jose Gonzalez. Jose, I found out tonight, was a little perturbed that the race session was moved to a night race. Oakham side by side with a 31, and no contact late into the corner, backs into the wall, and Jose nowhere to go and smashes that biggie bag.
That's a pretty big hit there.
And once again, you're seeing these contacts that almost look like net code, but I think they're actual contacts.
Basically pushing the 75 down.
Checks up. You see how they kind of hit and then they come together?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I would call that contact.
Oof.
You didn't want to shove him in the corner when he let off.
It's like magnets. So now, I mean, the strategies are everywhere right now. We got more cars on pit road. Who has what tires left? I have no clue.
I think everybody's kind of into one set, maybe 2 at this juncture, but one set, it's only 56 laps in, and a lot of them went and pitted at that lap 47 caution and changed 4 tires.
Right. So just to, let's go over the numbers here really quickly of races here at Darlington for this series. Current Coca-Cola Pro driver Malik Ray won the first race here back in 2017. It was a 117 lap race. In that event, Trey Eidson won in 2018, 2019, 184 lap race won by Adam Gilliland. Then in 20, it was Anthony DeBarro winning that race. And then Daniel Falkingham took over this track pretty much, winning in 2021 and 2022, all the races those 2 years, so there was 2 apiece. And then last year, Pedro Mejica won this race last year, and then Josh Parker winning the September race at this track. But each race averages somewhere in the range of about 5 cautions for 64 laps. So we're pretty much at that number, and look what lap number we're at, 64, ironically. 25 or 64. Yeah, so we've definitely hit our number here tonight at Darlington.
Six different leaders. Kevin King started us out leading the first 21 laps. Fuller, then King again. Wesley Donaldson was at the helm for about 10 laps or so. Scott Stenzel, who's coming off pit road to join the field, was out front for 1 lap, with King cycling out front lap 57 prior to this caution. And Kevin raced his way hard through the field, but right now with clean air, reminds me of Daniel Falkingham. Watched him race this racetrack. I remember watching Daniel race Watkins Glen.
Oh,
In particular, Watkins Glen. And never put a wheel off. Hit every single corner like a robot almost.
I think that was the first broadcast we did on the Cup Series. I don't know if it was, I think it was me and John, but.
This racetrack has a very similar tactic to it, right? Where you put the car on the entry. We've not talked about it. They drive down into turn 1 and they actually go below the apron a lot of times. And, you clip that apron flat, but it gives you the space to roll up to the fence. And then when the car takes a set, you turn it down to the bottom of the apron out of turn 2 to straighten out to go to the... If you can hit that right every single time, we talked about, you could do that 5, 10, 15 laps in a row, and then one lap is different, but not for Daniel Falkingham. He was the kind of guy that just never missed it, and no surprise to see him win this race after watching the way he ran Watkins Glen, and you have to see whether Kevin has the same kind of mojo going on here at this racetrack and whether anyone is going to take away the hangry man. He wants another win in the column to take place, the one that went away.
The units cars are units each other up there over in the turn 1 and 2, or using, if you will. Little contact there, and those guys into the wall. As we go back green here, Kevin King continuing to lead. Now, the one thing that I want to add to what you said there, it's almost like you have to drive it up the banking going into turn 1 and then bring it back to turn 2 like a double apex. But I was spotting for a driver in Road to Pro this week, and he wasn't too, he knows Darlington, but wasn't like too experienced with it. So I tried to show him backing up turn 2, because believe it or not, turn 2 is like the best way I can think of this analogy. If you ever played Mario Kart and you remember those 3 arrows that would give you that little boost of speed if you hit them, okay, right? If you hit turn 2 the right way, it almost feels like that. When you come off the corner, you're like out of a rocket ship. As you see O'Rourke get past Donaldson and run the fastest lap of the race that time by, and a Darlington stripe on the one.
There's a sign up to the outside.
I know what you're talking about.
This. That's my spot.
Yep.
Right? You roll the car up to get more at lift kits for less sign. The second one.
Tyler Dalton gets contact with Kelly. Big check up here. That started with Calantoni getting loose with Mons back there, and then they all checked up. Good catch by everybody there.
Another good hands moment. Right here, those 2 little marks on the wall, that's where you let off.
Right.
Turn the car down, and then once you get to the apron, you can step on it, and like you said, it's almost like you have a nitrous boost.
I mean, you definitely know when you hit that corner right and when you don't. When you don't, usually it results in what happened to me last night, or you just end up slow off the corner and you get freight trained by about 2 or 3 people.
And you could follow somebody for 8 laps and they hit the corner right every time, and you're right behind them, and then the one time they mess up and you come off and you're right on top of them.
Are you okay?
Hopefully they're smart enough that they pull it left and let you go and don't get run over. Out of turn 4 is one of the trickiest transitions. Do you run the top? Do you run the middle? Some drivers enter turn 3 high, run the fence, let off in the middle, and turn down, and then drive out to the fence on exit. Other drivers go in low, run up to the top, bang it off the wall, and use the ricochet to come off of turn 4 down the bottom and drive on. I mean, how different drivers attack turn 4. If you actually sat in the stands and watched them come off the corner, everybody's a little bit different as to how they approach that corner. Some drivers make it work on the top, and other drivers are equally as fast on the bottom. It's fascinating to watch how drivers on this racetrack.
You saw E.J. O'Rourke get around the 83 of Adam Benfield for the 3rd position. Now, to answer your question, how I run it, you want to be at the top. But obviously, you also want to go where cars aren't at if you're in the middle of the pack. The one thing I do train myself to do is I want to make sure my wheel is straight by the time I come off turn 4. And the reason why is because you saw EJ get loose there, but these seams, You do not want to be turning the wheel over the seams. So right here, of course, you cross over and come to the top. You want to be straight right there. And you see EJ almost gets the wall there. I always try to train myself to do that because I don't have to worry about the car snapping on me.
Oh, we got one
Charles Van Schaik.
Anyway, gathered it up. Holy cow. That's incredible that Charles Van Schaik gathered that up. Normally you'd go back right across the racetrack into traffic.
Yes, Matt Rodolasso comes to pit road, unscheduled pit stop there. Randy Oakham's still in, and here's Stenzel back here with the 23 side by side. I think a couple of these cars you're going to have to be careful of to watch with those tires, because now you've got some people that have that surplus, that extra set, if you will.
You got to be careful with that 23 that he slides the tires like that. That is going to be difficult because that right front or right rear tire is going to be a little bit heated up, and you could go slide in the next lap. Use code GOAT Racing 23 at Goat Racing Diecast for a discount. That is such a cool looking race car.
It is the Adam Petty throwback there, and yeah, make sure you check out the GOAT Series. By the way, Thursday nights, if you don't do anything, the GOAT Cup Series, they run for free. Matter of fact, you can run this race. Basically, they run the next race on the list. We're going to have to run the Charlotte race in 2 weeks. Hey, remember who won the 2002 Southern 500?
No.
I'll give you a hint. Look on my cat. Oh, he's wrecking right now, as a matter of fact. With Scott Stenzel. There's a jinx for you. As Alan Wild into the inside wall in the Ward Burton car. Oh, caution comes out again. Is that a broadcaster's jinx when I throw a question to a tribute?
Yeah.
How does that work? Oh, he hits the wall again.
I think his toe link is broken. He can't steer the car.
Unfortunately there, caution comes out again. Ouch! More than his toe link's broken. That car lifted in the air.
This is that exit of turn 4 problem, right? High line, low line.
Everybody's going to come together here. And all of a sudden you're going to see the 42 in your living room.
Right now. Over me. Worked out perfectly.
Well done. Little Beatles tribute. One of the better covers in history. The Aerosmith version.
Just have to keep throwback, right? They played all those songs during the broadcast yesterday. This one hurt. That's a big hit. That left front really took it right on the wheel.
Let's get you another view of this really quickly.
Now, pit road is busy, but Mr. King stayed out. Fuller in. Donaldson in. Carl Bosch is in.
Stenzel got that turn 2 run that we talked about. As I'm looking at the replay here still again. He had that run off turn 2 and it just blew the doors off of Allen, almost going into 3. Allen fights back off the corner, and Stenzel just kind of slides up into him, unfortunately.
I think he thought he was going to go more to the outside of the fence,
maybe
on exit, and he just held the middle line there.
But yeah, more cars on pit road as you talked about here. Now, I do want to clean one thing up. I did find out talking to someone that Kevin actually took fuel only in that first stop, and he might have mentioned it when we talked to him. So that made more sense now why he came back to pit road at the next caution. So just want to clear that up for the record for those keeping track.
I got one for you, Chris.
What we got?
You know what hospital socks are?
Hospital socks?
Yes. You ever go into the hospital, they give you the socks with the little rubber things on the bottom?
Yes.
In a pinch, if you need to race and you need something with a little grip, hospital socks.
Well, I mean, traditional socks work too.
You look goofy. My wife teases me all the time when I wear those things, but
well, here's the one thing I like to explain here. We are sitting here right now, you and I, we are calling and broadcasting a race of 39 drivers racing a simulator in their living rooms or wherever rooms they're in, with people watching and enjoying us. So if wearing grippy socks is weird, then what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to mention, this is fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm not blasting it. I'm just saying. I mean, we already look weird enough doing what we're doing here. I'm just throwing it out there.
If only you had a frosty beverage, but it's Monday night.
Orange-icle? Oh, I did that different frosty.
I'm going to Wendy's for one of those creamsicle things. Creamsicle frosties.
Well,
oh my God, they're good.
Well, we got Jose back here. I mean, you might be able to help us. Are they good? I haven't had one yet. The creamsicle ones, or dreamsicle as they call them.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I tried something today that I saw.
You didn't dip a fry into a frosty, did you?
Two parts Coke, 1 part root beer.
Okay.
And it's supposed to taste like a Dr. Pepper.
How'd it do?
Tastes like Coke with root beer in it. But it's not bad. I gotta say, it's not bad. It's just not Dr. Pepper.
Oh, you just reminded me.
It's like Mr. Pibb.
You just reminded me of that time where when I was working at a barbecue restaurant in my younger days, I would, I've had people tell me, hey, try this for that. Okay. So I did a Sprite with a icy pink lemonade. They're like, hey, it tastes like orange soda. By God, it actually tasted like orange soda.
Is that right?
Yes. All right. Going to come back to the green here. 60. What's that?
EJ's up 25.
Yeah. He's running outside lane here with Kevin King as we come to the green. And you know what? We tried it once. Let's try it again. Let's turn it up. So they might count the Darlington stripes we got there with the camera shots. Yeah. I counted a few.
Donaldson, as you said, I'll steal your line, did a little Chastain.
Little Chastain here through 3 and 4. He got the wall. Oh, and Macklin's in it now. He got the wall. And it's funny. I'm like, yeah, Wesley's in. We're talking off the air, and we're like, or while the scene's going on, we're like, yep, Wesley's in the wall. Yep. Wesley's still in the wall.
Charles Van Schaik, Darlington stripe. 3 and 4.
One of these days, one of these broadcasts, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm literally going to turn the microphone on and turn the stream on from like the beginning of everything for the race or practice so that people can see and hear what I do the whole entire time. I think it'd be kind of unique.
That would be interesting. Let's run for Chad Golden running in 4th right now. Yeah. This is a veterans racetrack, and certainly
look at the guy in front of him
around this place, and he is trying to chase down Justin Mons.
How about Mons in 3rd?
Away a bit.
Right?
And then they all ran him down. I'm not sure if Kevin's just trying to pace himself like Dash, but up against the wall goes Mons. Just kissed it. Oh, hit it again.
Mons up here, I mean, you can't help but be impressed with him there. Third position for him. EJ's up in second. Coleman's up in fourth. Comstock is slid the beast into fifth. Adam Benfield's still up here, so we're starting to see guys rise to the top here as we get later and later into this race here.
I don't know what it is about the front stretch here, but you come down and it is
Oh. Caution's out, but not for where I was looking. It's somewhere else. Karlovage and Macklin are stuck together. It's the 90 car, apparently. 60 and 30 stuck together. I was watching Tyler Dalton was getting nerfed by Joe Hudson as I looked back and the caution came out. Karlovage and Macklin look like Chase Elliott and Martin Truex a couple years ago. Over 3 and 4 there. Oh, I'm sorry, this is 1 and 2 they were in. But caution comes out.
Is that just a fight of real estate there? Or?
More than a fight of real estate.
The 30 got loose on entry, got nicked by the 31, and so did the 60. So that was like 3 incidents in one.
Oh, Sony got the 60, and then, yeah, they get stuck together. Yeah, wow. And here we go with the split bag of pit stops again.
All right, let's see where this goes.
Yeah, so Fuller stays out, Dalton stays out, Calantoni stays out. You'll see him coming across the screen here in front of us. Bobby Wetzel, Rivera, Colby, Campbell, Arnold, Benfield, Van Schaik, Jatina. This is 57 laps to go. Fuel's no longer an issue. It's now just the tires. See, King's taking tires here, Benfield tires. I'm assuming if you're on pit road here, you're taking tires. There really isn't room to go like fuel only at this point in the race, I would think.
I tried 2 tires one time this week. It did not work out very well.
That's probably not the track to do that at.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back. I want to go back to this replay again because let's show the two. Yeah, there's the netcode / contact, and Karlovage gets hit by Stoney. So you saw the smoke maybe there in front of those 2 cars. That was where I was actually oohing and on when the other happened. Let's go up here to Tyler Dalton. Watch this with Hudson because these guys start checking up. Yeah, somebody else striping. And it's like they check up right there. Dalton gets it, and they just start Galantoni down the apron.
Galantoni was the one that I saw sliding through when you called the caution. He got bumped out of the bumper car. What happens is you get that run down the backstretch and you go to peak to the inside. Then you realize that you're not going to get the entry that you want, make the pass. And you try to come back up the racetrack so you can get the turn in. And when you come back up, you fill the slot and the car behind you is trying to close in and everybody gets really tight on entry. And that makes it bumper to bumper as you go in the corner with people running different speeds. And that's why after the green flag drops for a period of time until everybody kind of gets off of each other, it becomes very tedious to run in that pack. And, you know, we were talking about it earlier, Chris. That group running on top of each other in that early stint, that's the kind of action that I was expecting to cause problems, and yet they cleared it up.
They did clear it up, and another guy that's kind of clearing it up here, having a pretty decent run, Chad Coleman. I just said his name 3 times and didn't say it right. Chad, obviously, bringing you up here. You're 1 to go coming to green. What was your favorite Nerf gun growing up?
I had a bunch of them, but I don't remember what most of them were called, but man, it had like a little barrel that shot about 20 little darts at one time.
Oh, I remember those. Hey,
I was more the water gun type person.
That sounds about right. So, has it been weird with the different paint schemes tonight, trying to recognize who's who?
It is at times. At times you kind of look and you have to look at your F3 to see who's who. And but other than that, most of them you can tell by how many times they bounce off the wall.
Nice. Well, it looks like you're about to go green here. Are we going green the rest of the way? You got EJ's leaning on you, by the way.
I don't think so.
Sounds good.
I don't think we're done yet by a long shot.
Oh, EJ's showing you some love, I think, there. So good luck.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Oh, man. Got that in perfect timing. Yeah, I don't know how to talk, apparently. But I do. He's up by the one gun. I remember you shooting. It kind of rotates around, and you could shoot like 20 bullets at one time, or what do you call those things?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And all I can say is there's occasions where I look and I find Nerf.
Where's Gerald going?
Memorabilia. He's going down to wave at his gram. I still find things like in the garage and other places.
Right.
Every once in a while.
Oh, who got the wall good there? That was the 28 of Colby. Almost three wide. Scrambling. Kevin King's coming up the middle.
They're not going to make it after. Just won't.
Well, I figured it was a good question to ask Chad. Do you think we'll make it the rest of the way?
Oh, there you go.
Joe Hudson.
Wall. Yeah.
Yep, he was right. Nope is the answer. Caution's out again.
He's able to drive it out of that. I have to say the smartest guy on the racetrack is the Doug Sigmund 04.
Is it him or is it Livingston for driving all the way down?
I don't know. Doug Sigmund's, sponsored by the brake company. He just puts it, they all step on the gas, he steps on the brakes. They're all crashing in front of him and just riding around waiting for the attrition to occur.
It's like you get that hope, because these guys are good enough. They know how good they are. To have a green flag run, it's just unfortunate. It just has not panned out. Hudson just gets loosed.
8 drivers to crashes so far.
Hudson,
right?
Yeah, pretty much. Hudson with that issue that we talked about earlier, and I wonder if he got crossed up on the seam over there in turn 4. Yeah, it's too early. Let me go back a little bit more. Goes in the corner, tries to the outside of Benfield here.
I saw him on the restart. He was just trying to be cautious. He let drivers drive off. He gave a little space, got a little tap from behind it, being conservative, and he was just trying to pace himself down the back straightaway. And unfortunately, sometimes you're the bug.
Yes. He didn't get on the seam there, so I can't blame him for that. So, hey, let's step away real quick, get another break in from 811, and when we get back, I'm going to tell you a throwback paint scheme that I have not seen in iRacing that somebody should run. And it's not an actual paint scheme, but it's an actual, old school throwback toy. That's coming up.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are here from Darlington, 96 laps complete. So you think back to your favorite toys, and I get reminded by this when I see the Nerf cars out there, because Nerf guns, we all had one at one point when we were younger, if it was a water gun or one of the ones that had the shooting sticky thingies on them. But one of many probably toys you've not seen on a race car. Now, you're talking to a guy that at one point, Kev, ran the Little Tykes race car, the car with the yellow top and the red doors that we all had as kids. I actually had one painted and raced it on iRacing. But the one that I have not done, and I'm like, man, we almost have to try this out. Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, I think I saw a Rock'em Sock'em robot car once.
You get those, but I mean, all these cool toys back in the day. But
I saw He-Man. He-Man's very similar.
Nice. But Stretch Armstrong car. How cool would that be?
Yeah, that would be pretty darn cool. I have to say my favorite race car of all time, one of my favorites, is the 47 Sunoco car from Jeff Fuller. 92?
I think a little later, 96, 97-ish, somewhere in
Blue
that
car,
range. I know what you're talking
yellow
about.
top, yellow, orangey trim.
I believe that was a Moroso-owned car, was it not? Rob Moroso?
I don't remember. I don't. Whatever that was, just like the penultimate paint scheme for me.
Gonna look it up right now. Jeff Fuller, a former Busch North champion back in the heyday, who I sometimes will call Justin Fuller accidentally.
What's this? Brian Wertman was crew chief for him for a couple races. I'm not mistaken. Back in the day. But that Sunoco car is the best looking race car.
Actually took the car to Victory Lane at Bristol here, because as soon as I pop up, he's there. Looks like one of the 50, he was named one of the 50 top drivers in modified history.
I know it was either early or late 90s. I thought it was early. But it could have been as late as like 97, like you said. I don't know.
Are you talking about the yellow, the yellow top with the white, red, and blue doors?
It's got a white number with orange. It's got a yellow top and it's got orange stripes. And there's a yellow nose on the front bumper, from what I remember. And it's Sunoco, big Sunoco logo on the front hood, white Sunoco on the back.
Yep, I think I'm looking at the car right now. I'll have to send it to you here in a second. As Fuller and Bobby Wetzel, there's a new name in the top 5. Not Chad Coleman in that 9 car. As we go back to green, we got 2 Nerf cars out here.
We saw Callum Tony sideways on the apron.
Beasley.
The third.
Beasley was just on the apron in one.
Wow, they are really mixed up there on the back straightaways. They're 3-4 wide. 41 of Mons took a base of that down on the flat. Still down there on the exit.
And these are all cars that came to pit road 10 laps ago. And we did have a couple cars come in at this last caution, but otherwise we've got strategies all over the place right now.
We're 2/3 of the way through this race.
Oh, Simley and Parker.
Parker is out of control. I don't know how he was able to wrestle that car back.
The net code is strong with this one tonight.
Easily loose out of 4. He was in yaw coming out of the corner. Tell you, these guys, they have their hands full. This racetrack is as difficult as they say, and when we talk to it's goth time. This is thrash. We talked about, you race the racetrack up until a point, and then when you get with 50 to go, you run hard. You run as hard as you can, but you're still trying to find the finesse to race the racetrack. You're going to run door to door with somebody. You're going to beat. You're going to bang. You're going to run closer to their front fender. You're going to hustle the car up off the corner, and maybe it'll break loose like the 13 just did. I'm telling you, it's no holds bar at this point in the racetrack.
Especially, when you get the cautions the way they're falling right now, you can't help but kind of get a little more racy there in this part of the race.
Fuller's up front. King is back to 5th. We're going to look to see if Kevin can charge his way back forward here by the end of the race. Fuller took over the lead lap 89 when King went to pit road. And unlike last time, Kevin didn't drive through and come right back up and take the lead. This time he's had to work a little hard at it as he's running side by side right now. That was a brazen move, man. Passing the 84 on the outside, 3 and 4.
Oh, 2 cars back in the back. Who is that back there? It's look like maybe Gerald and Hudson having some argy-bargy back here. Wortman's probably back here like, y'all knock that off. As up here, Kevin King putting pressure on Dalton for 3rd. Oh, man.
Wow,
I saw some sparks from somebody. Where is that coming from? and Campbell gets turned into the corner. This can be big. Rivera, E.J. O'Rourke.
That just might be the end of Campbell's night. That was a pretty big hit.
Yeah, he got turned going into the corner, which is never good. See, Rivera's car is toast. Campbell with more damage. He's still going.
Actually, Campbell was lucky because he went up and cushioned on another car instead of taking a direct blow, and unfortunately the 21 came along and finished the job.
Oh yeah, 21's broke. EJ's swatting flies right now under caution.
Yeah. Left front pointing at the you
Right.
see it? The left front,
Right side's not moving.
Yeah, that thing's toast.
All right, let's
It's a hurting unit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
That's okay.
Hey, it goes down here and has contact with the 23. They just hit each other. That's all it took. Never good when you're on the apron sliding backwards, coming back.
Didn't know where to go. Thankfully, this track is so wide.
I thought that was the 44's front end. It was the 21's, I believe. 44 might be able to fight another day here. About half the field has had some brutal contact here tonight.
So caution out.
Which is what you expect, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Hey, I got a surprise for you.
What's that?
Is this the car you're talking about? Well, you're not gonna probably see it unless you're watching the stream.
I'm watching the stream.
It'll pop up here in a second. So Kevin's on a 5-minute delay here.
I gotta look at my 25 screens here. I am woefully behind, apparently. I'll yell when I see it.
Okay. We'll really see. You hit the live button. No, Fuller.
I hit the live button, I'm going to go past it. That's what I'm afraid of.
No, I just took it off, actually, so. Yeah, anyways, 108 laps in the books. That was the Jeff Fuller 47 car back in the heyday. The Sunoco Chevy, that was 97, was that paint scheme that we showed.
97. Okay, yeah. It was either 92 or 7. I wasn't sure which.
Trying to see, I believe that was the car it ran at Atlanta Motor Speedway in 97.
I was woefully behind. Holy
want
cow.
to say that was
was
owned by Rob Moroso, if I remember correctly.
That's it. That's the one.
I told you he was on a 5-minute delay, guys.
The one thing I loved about that race car is you could read the number from across the racetrack. That's what I remember seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every car would go by, and that car you would know exactly which one it was. Both by the yellow roof and the white number. It was amazing.
Now, everybody does know, by the way. Is there anybody who's watching is not aware what Stretch Armstrong is? Just want to make sure, because we do have viewers that were like maybe born in the 90s or in the 2000s to be like, oh, what?
Yeah.
I mean, like cassette tapes and 8-tracks and stuff like that, reel to reel.
Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
Yeah. Then you had those, what was the big boxing gloves you could put on, you slide on your wrist? I actually had my nose busted by one. But they were supposed to be like these protective boxing gloves, but they were like ginormous.
I remember lawn darts.
I remember those too. Yep.
We had lawn darts. All fun until somebody got their foot stabbed.
Yeah, it's never good. So Justin Fuller's been leading his last half of the race. He's got Bobby Wetzel there on his inside. Kevin King, who has been up and down through the field. Tyler Dalton there in the 4th position. And Charles Van Schaik still in the top 5. As we go green here, 38 laps to go at Darlington. in what has been a pretty long night, but some great green flag racing, but unfortunately, Darlington has been angry tonight.
Yeah, it has been brutal. I'm curious to see what Mr. Wetzel can do here. He's known as a hard charger, and in all these stints, he's not going to give any quarter to any of these guys. He would love to come away with a win here.
Well, he almost just pulled the mistake I made, caught the apron 3 wide down into 3 as Coleman sends it. And there's still 3 wide. Joey's on his door.
You come out of turn. Yeah.
Oh, no. They're still on each other. Oh,
Easy,
no.
Joe. Oh, backwards.
And Benfield straightens him out. Look at her, buddy.
Unbelievable.
Oh, and Benefield into the wall now. Into Macklin. Somebody was down on the inside and didn't see Benefield, and he got turned. Well, one thing about wrecks, you cannot let your guard down when you're avoiding them.
I think that's going to be the end of Jacina's night.
Yeah,
they were 3 wide, just beating and banging off of each other out through the corner. The 83 and the 38.
Wow, the reciprocal sandwich, if you will. On Benfield got the wall up above Joey. And then watch here, Benfield's going to get off, and he's like, yep, I'm all good. Everything here is great. And then it wasn't.
Actually, Coleman, as tedious as him being down on the bottom on the apron, held his ground down there. It was the 2 up above that did the hospital wobble there. You see the outside car came in, hit the 14, and 14 went across and ricocheted off the 38. I think this secondary incident. Yeah. Macklin. Yeah, Nestle's crunch on Macklin all night long. He's just been plugging things.
Well, unfortunately, the caution out here, 34 to go. So you guys have had opportunities to see all the throwbacks. I believe we've showed them all, at least on camera once. Viewers, feel free to share which one you've seen that you like. It's kind of cool. Plenty of good ones.
I hate to say it, but there's 35 to go. You got to go.
Oh, yeah. Especially in a race like this.
We've seen this calamity. Holy calamity. It's just been a crazy race, and I don't think it's going to get any better at this point. The guys up front would like to race this out. The guys in the back are trying to get up front so they can race it out.
All right, so for those who have never seen one before, and you can write this down, you've seen one of these on a broadcast now on iRacing. You ain't ever going to see one like this again. Stretch Armstrong.
Nice.
So what this toy is, for those who didn't know, like the arms, you could stretch as far as you can go. They had this like elastic to them, and I think you could do their legs too. So like this thing could stand up like so many feet wide and long. And yes, I had one.
My brother and I would grab one side and the other side
and just
we'd
go
play tug of war with the thing. Yeah.
It's either that or a Chucky doll. I mean, we all had Chucky dolls too. I just thought about that. Oh, that'd be a good Halloween paint.
Didn't have a Chucky doll.
An iRacing Chucky doll? An iRacing Chucky paint? Oh, come on. Got some ideas going on.
I've seen Chucky doll paint, yes.
Really?
Never run one, yeah. Yeah, one guy used to have one on his back TV panel. Chucky.
Huh.
I've been racing for 20 plus years. I've seen a lot of things.
That's true.
Clown cars and...
Like Bozo the Clown?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Sure. Every corporate sponsor you could possibly, I think I've seen on a race car. I used to have a Fritos car.
I've seen a Hello Kitty car. I saw that one last night, actually.
back in the 1990s, late 90s, I had a Fritos car that I used to race in NASCAR. 1, 2, 3, something like that. Cheetos. I also had Cheetos on my car once. With Chester Cheeto on the side.
Nice.
It's so cool to go down the backstretch here in the dark and see the lights of the pace car. And when you ride around here in caution, which you have 10 cautions,
right?
Yeah, every once in a while you go, this is Darlington. And if
right.
you've ever been to the racetrack, riding around on the racetrack, you look at the building in turn 3. It's
the Earnhardt Tower, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You look at the racetrack, and especially if you've ever been there, it is picture perfect.
Like, it's a track that if you'd have said to me back in the mid-90s or whatever, hey, we'd have lights at Darlington, I'd be like, come on.
Yeah.
But they've made it look good.
It's a spectacular place to see a race. They start the race right at twilight, and the
more contact as Fuller takes off the lead.
It's amazing every year. It's iconic out of turn 3 and 4.
Kelly sliding up there into Parker, getting loose.
He did a good job at getting it out and wrestling it back down.
As King clears Dalton finally for third. Calantoni right there with him.
We talked about the year potential for the 91 and the 19 this year, and both of them are living up to that.
Yeah.
I know that Wesley Donaldson, he's run well.
Sorry, watch Calantoni.
but I'll tell you, every week Tyler has just really done a great job at getting up. He reminds me of David Comstock from last year. We're always talking about him in the top 5 at the end of the race, and he's had the speed this year.
Now, unfortunately, Larry lost about 3 or 4 spots now, runs 7th after Coleman gets by him. And, well, talking about the race to repair yourself and get back in it, Stoney Benfield's in the 8th position. His nose was somewhere near Florence at one point in this race. And he's up in 8th position right now. As King just laid down the fastest lap of the race, 28:39, as he tries to catch Fuller here. Less than 30 laps to go. Fuller's going to make that car as wide as this track is.
Yeah, if you're Fuller, how do you figure this out, right? You just try to hit your mark, run your race, not look in the rear. You want to get clean laps. But you can see that you can't help but notice when a car closes down on you, like Kevin is doing right now.
Yeah, you just don't want to look in the mirror because that's how you miss your marks. I mean, one little lapse of focus around this track, and you will hit the wall. It happened last night. I remember having to tell myself mid-race, I even said on the stream, I'm like, get it together, Chris. Stay focused. Like, I had to kind of remind myself because it's so easy to lose focus, and when you do, hello, wall grabs you.
Hello.
Nice to see it, right.
That's a country song.
It is Conway Twitty, yes.
I'll tell you, King and Fuller have checked out, but this battle behind them, they're 2 and 3 wide in the back, but 2 wide as it is just no quit here in this group. So many runs you get in the draft. You got to be careful on this exit of turn 2. Every lap is tedious for these guys on the exit. Cars are so on the edge.
Got a couple of Nerf guns here battling each other for 4th, and then you got Dalton and Eric Arnold, Josh Parker back here. And Stoney starts to slip back a little bit. You wonder if these guys are finally
good run.
Yeah,
come up there into the top 10, I believe.
I'm curious. I'm wondering if Sim Racer Hub has a stat where you can see like laps in the top 5. Because I'm curious to know if every driver in this race at one point has been in the top 5. It just seems like it, even though I know it's probably not the case, but it seems like it. Yes, here comes Beasley. I saw, was it Matt was in here checking on Beasley a little bit ago. from his Facebook page. Beasley, 12th position, up 20 spots, and he gets it to Stoney, who slams the wall. Oh, Van Schuyck clobbers the wall. I don't know what it is. It's like people are missing the angles or something. Like, into the corners tonight, we've had so many contacts into straightaway. And once again, Stoney's nose is in another state.
Somebody's running back to the hauler. Get another nose. You ain't got any more.
Oh, man. It's
just hard to explain that one.
Well, Beasley's trying to get the angle into the corner. So he tries to stay tight up to Stoney. And they just come together. Nice job by Hudson. Oh, and Charles gets clipped. Oh, and Stenzel gets clipped. I don't know if there is another way to explain it. It's just...
I did not see, if you watch the scene, the 75's out against the fence. You can't go any higher. Yeah, sorry, Richard, but it's your job not to run into the car in front of you. And what's a race car? 3,500 as everybody goes to pit road, except for Mr. King. 51 of Justin Fuller pulls off. The 84 of Calantoni goes to pit road. That's an interesting call with so few laps to go.
Are you saying Cotton?
That's a bold strategy. Yes, it is. I don't think you drive back around Kevin once you give him the lead. I am shocked that they would give up the lead and take that out.
Well, Kevin pitted at lap 89. That was his last pit stop here. This is lap 125. So we're looking at nearly, now we've had a few cautions in here. So probably we'll call it 20 laps of green flag racing. You get somebody aggressive enough, they'll get around Kevin.
But unfortunately, if you're back, where Calantoni is, at Wetzel, and Parker, and all these guys, you got Coleman, Mons, Karlovash, Gonzalez.
Yeah, they might be toast, unfortunately.
Brian Workman went to pit road, but Calantoni and them, you got a lot of cars to drive through to get the win if you're Justin Fuller. Right. I know he's fast, and you could also have a handful of cautions which are going to take away your opportunity to drive through. So I like the strategy by Kevin. Stay out.
It's one of them races earlier this year already, is when you get a race like this, it's had some cautions in it. Obviously, you get to a point where track position becomes king. And that's where you see Kevin usually get to victory lane and others. So we'll see if this is the way it goes here tonight, but obviously the one thing he's going to want is more yellows. Even if it's 10 laps yellow, 10 laps yellow, then you get to the end.
I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Thinking about...
Oh, I see your point.
It is quite a few laps still left, but yet one caution takes a couple laps out, to your point, as you just said. So I think about the damage to these race cars. Who hasn't been against the barrier? Not Darlington Stripe, but just pounded the fence. So many of these cars up in this top 10 have been against the wall with some pretty significant hits. Take a licking, keep on ticking. A lot of these cars can really take a hit.
So, thought about something just now as I was looking over something here real quickly. We haven't had a chance to talk about the big announcement today. If you did not see the news today, NASCAR announced that next season there is going to be a 5-race in-season tournament that will have 32 cars racing for $1 million for 5 races.
Oh. No, I didn't see that.
So, kind of curious to see what people think about that today. Yeah, I guess what they're going to do is use 3 races that are aired on Prime next year that will determine the seeding, and then for the 5 races that are on TNT, they will race for $1 million during those 5 races.
I like it. I like it. You have to go in the in-car. Listen to Bobby Wetzel. And look at the front view that he has. A Patrick Starr. You see on race cars.
Oh, boy. As we go green here, 19 laps to go as we ride with Wetzel into the corner. This will be the ultimate broadcaster jinx, by the way. As he checks up, he's got Parker to his inside. Wesley going through his mirror. Here comes Fuller, and here come the fresh tires.
The frustration sometimes is you're in the outside lane or the inside lane, and the lane doesn't go.
Yeah.
And you have no choice. You're kind of stuck. It's like a Talladega type thing. King able to get out front. He's able to clear by 2 car lengths, sitting over top of Chad Coleman. And it's 2 car lengths back to Justin Mons. Carl Lavage running fourth. Everybody kind of in formation here. Single file. Down the backstretch right now. The number 51, who we're keeping our eye on.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, currently running in the 10th position. We're looking to see if Fuller can come in, and he's sideways out of turn 4. He's got to run underneath the 81 of Josh Parker.
Claire.
Gonna get that position. They're side by side in front of him. Following Patrick Starr. These guys are loose as he gets nicked. Yeah, here he is. He's boxed in like we were just talking about.
Scott Simley's wrecked off turn 2. I was looking, I thought I saw something going on. Simley's got a destroyed nose. We stay green though.
While Fuller gets trapped behind those cars back there in the 9th position. Everybody else drives away.
And Parker and Fuller are racing tight.
Oh, yeah. Fuller finally broke free. He's going to come back to the, 8th position? He's really going to have to hustle if he's going to catch these guys.
Leslie Donaldson, the first car on the fresh tires, in the 7th position there. Just laid down a 28.69 in that 91 car. As he tries to catch his teammate there, Callan Tony. You see the 26 of Jose Gonzalez is up in the top 5. So, as Parker smashes a bag of chips. And meanwhile, back here, look at Justin Mons putting the pressure on the 38. Carl Lavage back up here. He was in a wreck earlier. I mean, everybody here but like 2 or 3 cars have been in a wreck tonight at one point. I mean, it's hard to keep our cameras in one spot because, like, things are happening everywhere.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kevin King drives out to a 10-car length lead right now. He's just on kill. Driving away from these guys. Callan Tony's falling off just a touch.
Hey, Kev, one thing I didn't get a chance to share, and I do want to get this out to the viewers really quickly, but Wesley made a cool graphic, and I wanted to get a chance to share this out to the people this week. But the week of racing here at Sim500, check this out. Tonight, it's Darlington, where they're racing right now. Talladega tomorrow night in the Super Speedway Series, presented by WDB Diecast, or BD. Atlanta Motor Speedway on All-Star 15 TV Wednesday night. Thursday night, Charlotte in the GOAT Series. And in Nashville for Friday Night Thunder coming up here on Friday. So make sure you check out those races there. And if you're in the league, get signed up. If not, you can always be a part of the series at sim500.com. Mons up a second.
Oh, Mons, he sent it into turn 1 down underneath the 38. Slide jobbed him. Was able to execute that pass.
Oh, Callan Tony smacks the wall.
Tony, yeah.
I was trying to do that in the middle of like a something would happen segment. Let's watch the pass.
Shout out to Brad Keselowski. What an awesome race.
Yeah, right. That finish was wild.
Jack Roush in victory lane and
back to that
Mark Martin paint scheme that we saw earlier, and those are the heydays of Roush. It's great to see them back on top. Chris Buescher's doing an outstanding job, and so glad that Brad finally broke through. Brian Keselowski used to race with us under a number of years.
Watching Hudson back here racing hard with the 7 of Joey Stone, the 19 of Tyler Dalton back here. As all these guys race hard, contact there. I mean, these guys are roughhousing.
There's stuff going on all over the place. Karlovaj under assault right now from Wesley Donaldson.
These are the fresh tires.
Driving through. Fuller's going to find him in. Now what these guys with fresh tires needs, a caution.
I don't even know if they need that. I think they need this race to stay green for the sake of keeping the tires hot. 9
if they
laps.
have a caution, they're going to be able to drive right to the back bumper of Kevin, who's got a half straightaway lead, though.
I do agree with that part. Maybe it's catch-22, shall we call it?
Could be as Mike Kelly starting to make a good run as the 60 of Karlovaj, who was up there, starting to drop back.
Fuller in the
These
wall.
guys for the interference, right?
Yeah, they were the protection, if you will.
Now there is no protection. If there's a caution, Kevin's going to be sitting there with all these guys right on his back bumper. I'll tell you, great job by Wesley Donaldson. Currently sitting in third right now, podium spot. And how about the 41, Justin Mott?
Great run tonight for him. He needs that run. Actually, career best run, I would say.
Yeah, old as the 29 out front.
As Coleman, unfortunately, getting freight trained now. As Mons is caught by Wesley here. Whoa.
Ooh. Yellow. There
Caution.
it is.
Uh-oh.
There's that yellow that Kevin King did not want to see.
Gerald Livingston is turned over here in turn 4.
I'm going to guess he had a little help.
Did he have a little help from his friends?
He got into the wall on... Maybe got a little push on the 28. Then the 28 went out and hammered the wall. And
That's called slide jobbing yourself. Oh, Gerald got loose, I think.
I think he was also realizing the 23 was underneath him. Maybe trying to come back.
I mean,
up
at first I'm like, wait a minute, but then I'm like, wait a minute, no, yeah.
He's got Delaware Speedway on the car. Never noticed that.
Yeah, Patrick throws a slide job on himself here. He literally hits Gerald doing that. You know what? I'm starting to wonder if Gerald might be trying something. Because, watch, the 28's going to get in the back of the 96 here as he tries to cross him over and puts him in the wall right there.
Different breaking point.
Right. 28 gets the wall here and... Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm going to leave that one open.
I'm still going to say that maybe he went to turn down and realized the 23 was underneath him. And decided it wasn't.
There's always one telling sign here.
Yeah.
Let's watch the wheel.
I don't know. Some like Gerald, too.
No, right? That's why I'm like, wait a minute here.
Yeah, you see the 23 in the mirror on the left side there.
Could be, yeah.
And I think he probably realized he couldn't pull down. That left side mirror tells the tale, right? Because if you see that you cannot mistake the car.
Right.
Right? With the Adam Petty paint ski.
All right, so Kevin King leads here, coming to 3 to go. Probably going to get overtime here, so we're going to get 2 chances at that. So with King up front, Mon second, I'm going to assume Kevin takes the low side here. Who would you rather battle for the win, Wesley Donaldson or Justin Fuller?
I think if I were him, I'd prefer to go with Donaldson.
So in that case, you're going to put Mons on the outside. Because if you put yourself on the outside here, you're leaving the door open for Fuller to get right up on your rear and follow you to second.
Yeah, Fuller is a veteran, but he's also a super hard charger. I would want to think that the 91 would race you a little cleaner, but yet could be talking out of my posterior. For Kevin, it's just a matter of look out the windshield, get a good start, go down into turn 1 and mat it, and just drive off the best you can. If somebody comes in, you're going to block. And really all you want to do is just for 2 laps, just do whatever you can to carry as much speed into the corner, get off the center properly so you can drive off and don't let them go by you.
The wild card here is Justin Mons.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's having easily the best drive of his career here at Sim500. The man's had so much bad luck, and I hate to say it could still happen here in 3 laps, but the man has done a great job no matter what, and maybe he needs to run a Davey Allison paint scheme the rest of the time. But
it could be that Haviland
1988 car there. Yeah.
I think the guys behind him are looking at Mons and going, kitty, 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 kitty. Because they know he's a sitting duck here. For Justin Mons, I almost feel like I would pull left, let a couple of those guys go, and as soon as I find a hole, I would go and plug myself into it, because otherwise, the drivers behind him are going to run him over.
I feel like you're cheating yourself if you do that. I mean, I think you got to go. I mean, if you get ran over by the guys behind you, first off, it's their job to pass you, as long as you're not throwing blocks left and right. But
They're
two,
here for the win.
right,
They're here for the win.
right, you're here to do your best, and that's. I mean, you got a team you're racing for and stuff. So now I couldn't do that. I see your point, but I couldn't do it.
I'm just too pragmatic, I suppose.
What?
Well, lights are out on the pace car. We're lap 146 of 147.
Does that start with P?
12 cautions. Tell you, the one you got to sneak on is the Brad Keselowski paint scheme number 2 of Michael Kelly. He's right there in that hunt, too. Don't count him out.
Now, Kevin's going to go early probably here. And he took the outside lane, which kind of surprises me. Let's see if Mons is ready for me. Here he's in the zone. Mons launches.
Yeah, he waited till about 3/4 part of the zone. He's going to clear Mons.
But look what happens. Fuller now clears Mons.
Let Fuller clear him.
That was why I'm like, I don't know about this move.
Got to make it back to the white flag. Should there be a caution, which is possible.
50-50 chance. Either they do or they don't.
Mons against the outside wall. White flag in the air.
White flag,
Next
final
flag
lap.
Race. Will Fuller put a bumper to him?
Let's see what he does here. As he pulls.
Fuller
Wesley hard into the wall. Yeah. Wow.
Fuller slipped. That opens up to a car length. That was King wanted to see. He's hit his marks. Fuller hard charge out of turn number 4. He's not going to have enough. King out of turn 4.
Kevin King gets revenge after his loss at Kansas. Gets the win in Darlington. And somebody just went like full bore into the wall.
Mons held on for 4th. Kelly in 5th.
Parker 6th. Yeah. Wow.
What happened to Tyler Dalton back to 14th?
Yeah, I think he got caught maybe with the tires or something, as only a few of them were really able to get through the field here.
Well, they take away a win, and you put it back. That's the MO of Kevin King. Is he's going to run his name on the front straightaway here. Red grips. I'm telling you, what a run by Kevin. He played the strategy right. Everybody went to pit road. He stayed out and was able to just hold them all off. Not an easy thing to do.
And you know he's probably pretty pumped up after this win to get this one tonight. So congratulations to Kevin there, as he's literally using the whole entire track to celebrate.
Could come down and see his friend Mr. Beasley, who has no front end. Again, if you haven't seen it, that documentary out there for Kevin King and his sim racing history is outstanding, and it really shows how long he's been in the game and the fact that he can come back to the sim these many years and still be as competitive as he is against some of the best, arguably some of the best talent on the internet here in Sim 500. Just shows that he has not lost the Midas touch.
So King wins it by 2/10 over Justin Fuller. Wesley Donaldson third. Justin Mons gets a fourth place finish, and Mike Kelly fifth. Josh Parker sixth. Jason Karlovage seventh. Jose Gonzalez eighth. David Comstock and Anthony Calantoni end up in the top 10. Beasley, Arnold, Bobby Wetzel, Tyler Dalton, Joe Hudson end up in the top 15. Stoney Benfield 16th. Brian Macklin 17th. Charles Van Schaik 18th. Chad Coleman 19th. And Glenn Campbell finishing 20th. Patrick Colby 21st, Joey Stone 22nd, Brian Wortman 23rd, Doug Sigmund 24th, and Gerald Livingston in the 25th position. Scott Stenzel, E.J. O'Rourke, all these cars had issues tonight. Nelson Rivera, Scott Simley, Adam Benfield, Joey Jatina, Alan Wild, Matt Rodolasso, Joachim Giles, and Rod Mitten, Robert Friery, Mike Montesi, and Kevin Stone end up all out of the race here this evening after carnage. Safe to say the lady won tonight, by the way. So
yeah, this lady is tough.
Whew, is she? Let's talk to her. Go ahead.
That makes it even more satisfying to win.
I would think so, yeah. When you're in a challenging race like this, absolutely. As Wesley Donaldson finishes in the third position here tonight. Wes, congratulations. Obviously, a tough race out there. A lot of just beating and banging, slamming against the wall, just a typical Darlington race, but at the same time, obviously a lot of yellow, a lot of strategy, and you and Jason did a good job to work your way to a top 3.
Yeah, that race was definitely something. Felt like it kind of got off on strategy there at the beginning. I pit, and then I was like, why the heck did I pit on that first caution? So I felt like it was kind of chasing at times, and it would come back the right direction, and you'd be in a good spot, then you'd be right back in a bad spot again. But yeah, it was a really tough race, just hard to pass. Just how Darlington is.
Obviously, you did a heck of a job there in that last run because you guys had about a 10-lap run or so, 10 or 15 laps. You guys got those tires up to temp, and you were able to get yourself up there to give yourself a shot to win that race in the end.
Yeah, we decided to take 2 on that last stop, and I think we put a little bit too much fuel in it maybe. So first couple laps of that run, I was kind of questioning my decision. It wanted to just plow in the middle of the corner. But then once the tires kind of came to temp, I realized I could rip the bottom in 3 and 4, and it was pretty quick. I realized I was pulling away from Fuller. I don't think if it stayed green there, I don't think he still would have caught Kevin either way. I was really hoping Kevin would have taken the bottom on that last restart. I feel like I would have had a better shot, but either way, I'm just glad to finish one of these things where I've been running. So yeah. That's a start.
Yeah, you've been fighting and clawing. I mean, you had a great finish 2 weeks ago, and then all of a sudden last week you had a great finish going, and then things happened. But you entered tonight 25th in points, but after tonight you probably are going to be in the playoffs officially, as you only needed to gain 12 points. But obviously they ain't updated yet. They should be updated here in a minute. And once they are, we'll get you updated. But that's got to feel pretty good, at least, to know that you're there now after what has been a rough start.
Yeah, I think even if just half of these races I've been finishing bad, if I just finish where I've been running, which is usually top 5, it feels like most week, or even top 3, I'd be in a decent spot. But if I just keep doing this every week, it'll all be in a good spot come playoff time, and then it's a whole new ball game.
Well, great job tonight, man. Send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody here at Sim500, all the admins, Joey, everybody who helps put on these races. They're a ton of fun each week. Thanks to 811 for sponsoring the series again this year. Thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast. Love going back and watching them. Shout out to the Sim500 Misfits. Everybody worked really well as a team there that race, giving each other information. Shout out to my Instagram page, WBD Diecast, where I make custom diecasts for current day NASCARs, old NASCARs, trucks, Cup, Xfinity, iRacing paint schemes, whatever you want. I can pretty much do it. And then shout out to the Peoria Rivermen, my local minor league hockey team. They just won the championship. I have that championship logo on the quarter panel tonight, so glad to get that, at least a good finish. But yeah, just look forward to next week.
Absolutely, man. Great job tonight. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. That is the 91 of Wesley Donaldson finishing in the third position here tonight, as he will get a pretty good jump up there in points. We'll have to check here. Once updated, we'll let you know where, but he should be pretty close to the playoff spot, I would think. So, but anyways, another valiant effort for Justin Fuller leads a lot of laps here this evening and finishes in the second position. And Kev, we'll let you talk to him.
Yeah, Justin, hard night's work. Left 127. You restarted in 11th. At one point, you were boxed in. We were watching you try to fight your way through. The caution came at the right time and gave you a shot at the win. What did you need to get Kevin at that final stint?
A better race car. I mean, these things are just junk. So that's about all it was. I mean, Kevin was probably. I mean, most weeks Kevin is just the fastest guy out here, so it's kind of boring at that point. But I was second place at best tonight. Play the strategy a little differently, maybe have a chance to win. We were kind of off sequence there. I felt like I was the only way I was going to beat him. Certainly, I don't think I was going to be able to just pass him straight up. So, kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I'm still learning this car. I don't like this car. I don't really give it a fair chance. And the aero games and the plow blocks is just it's not my style. I don't like it. So I'll take a second place though. It's good for points. We've had a really terrible season. I tried some new things tonight with steering ratios and brake bias and stuff. So we made some gains. I think tonight we'll see if we can carry that into Charlotte next week. And if I run next week, I might not be here, but yeah, I don't think I would have had anything for Kevin.
Yeah, second place. You got to try the different strategies. I'll tell you, it looked like you guys had your hands full. It was elbows up out there. A lot of contact, a lot of different cautions. Changed the strategy. Anything else you could have done differently from a strategy standpoint, or are you happy with the way it ended up? I mean, second, not a bad night's work.
I think on that last restart, because this car and tire is just so terrible, I should have taken 2 tires instead of 4. Wesley, Josh, and I think Bobby all took 2 tires, and I struggled to get by him. I think actually Wesley was faster than me right there at the end, and I think it was all because of the tires. So it's happened multiple times this season where 2 tires is actually better than 4 at the end of these races because they're just short runs, so you don't really need the left sides to be there. Obviously, over the course of a long run, it would be a different story, but I guess I got to get better at that too. So I hate this car. I think it's the biggest piece of crap we have. So but these tracks that are driver dependent, here, Rockingham, Bristol, these are the tracks that I've shined with this car. I've had really good runs with. So we just got to carry that over to the easier tracks, I should say, or per se, and not wreck so much over there.
Yeah, off of turn 2 there after that restart, it looked like you slipped up a little and let Kevin get away. I was curious as to what would have happened if would you have put the bumper to him?
I mean, he ran me clean, so I don't know if I would have. I would just probably would have taken the different line than he would have. He probably would have gone the top. I'm kind of guessing he would have gone top anyway, just to get the run off. I probably would have tried a slide job or something, but it doesn't really matter. I was actually kind of surprised that I was able to get that close to him. And when he lifted to make the corner exit of 2, um, I was so tucked up underneath of him. As soon as he lifted, my car just plowed and went straight.
Yeah,
So
got
I
the
had to
push.
lift.
Yeah.
It wouldn't turn. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about with this car. You can't race right up behind somebody. It's just so tight. You can't turn, and it's kind of annoying. It seems to some people have it figured out. I mean, Kevin can run up on the back of somebody, and he doesn't seem to get tight. So um, he's got a lot more time in this car than a lot of us, especially more than me because I just don't run this thing. So, um, but good win to him. Should be his probably his 8th or 9th win this season. Hopefully he'll get bored of it sooner or later, and probably not though. But
Yeah. How about it, Justin? Anybody want to give a shout out? You and EJ with the unit cars tonight?
yeah, thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast. I'll go back and pick through this tomorrow at work. Thanks to Sim500 and all the admins for what they do. Thanks to NC811 for sponsoring the series, everybody that watched. Thanks to Trey Hudson for always keeping me looking good on the racetrack. Units moving portable storage units. Thanks to all my teammates at North Motorsports, and just looking forward to the next one. Sort of, not with this car, but I might be going North Wilkesboro, so I probably won't run Charlotte next week. Depends on what time I get home on Monday. So, but it's you guys do a great job on the broadcast, so I'm looking forward to go back and pick through it.
There you go, Justin Fuller. Have a great time at North Wilkesboro. I'm envious. Enjoy.
Thank you. Have a good one.
There you go, Justin Fuller, second place here tonight in the Get a Unit, unitstorage.com Toyota as we turn to Chris. He's caught up with Kevin King, who put it out in P1 and got himself another victory.
Yeah, Kevin laid it down this evening as obviously we talked a little bit before the race about, or during the race, I should say, that first little stint there we talked to Kev, and obviously you could hear the frustration in his voice. Goes out there and wins the pole and leads laps again tonight, gets his 4th win here of the season now, officially, and leads now by 38 in the points. But Kevin, obviously a night that you wanted to get out here and show your dominance and stuff, and you were able to work through with all the different strategies and things going on tonight to get this win.
Yeah, it's pretty something. I was pretty. I think I was excited to start. I felt like I was just kind of riding around, and then the yellow flew, and then I had in my mind, I already knew which lap I wanted to pit on. It was a little early, and I was like, man, this is where it starts turning upside down. And of course, people pit, and then I stay out, or I pit, and people stayed out, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to take fuel. So that first run, I think a lot of people thought I took tires. I didn't take tires when I pit. I just took fuel, and I just drove through the field. It felt like I felt like I had new tires. And I got back to where I needed to be, and then it just became a swap of just track position and driving hard. And then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take 2 tires, and just kind of drove really hard. I told some people that I wasn't too happy with how Kansas went. I felt like there should have been a little bit more common sense with that decision. And I said, I'm just going to try to make a point this race. And I'm not really too vindictive with that stuff, but I felt like I had to show that I was, I wasn't messing around anymore. And so I decided that I wanted to run really hard and win this race. And so I'm happy it worked out. It was pretty sketchy. Fuller had really good pace. But all the yellows are pretty frustrating, to be honest with you, all things considered. I think we have good racers, but I could understand why we had 12 yellows. But yeah, I'm super happy to win this. They can't protest me this time. I didn't do anything wrong.
Well, you led 77 laps. Your fastest lap, how about this one? Your fastest lap's only a half of 100th off of your qualifying pole lap. So obviously you definitely laid a hammer down tonight. Yeah, you mentioned the 12 cautions, unfortunately, but still to have 4 wins at this point. I mean, we were talking at Vegas, we were like, you could just hear your frustration just from not being able to get to victory lane because something was happening or whatnot, and now you already got 4 wins back at it.
Yeah, I try to put myself in position to have good finishes, and sometimes you can't really predict when yellows are going to happen or when the tire set situation occurs, or some people don't pit and they wait for a yellow, and then all of a sudden it flip flops and they have the advantage when on pace they're really not kind of there. That stuff is super frustrating for me, so I'm getting a better handle on it. I'm definitely knowing how to manage my tires to avoid those situations, but it's something that's always in the back of my mind, trying to figure out, okay, if I'm good up front early, it doesn't necessarily mean anything because it's probably going to be a yellow that's going to flip flop strategy unless it's too deep into a run. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to make a point. I told some guys that I wanted to go out here and win this race. I practiced a decent amount. I felt like I ran some AFIX, I ran an NIS, which typically I don't for these things. I kind of just show up. So I really wanted to just kind of put a stamp on what I was told this morning, that that I had Kansas taken away from me, even though that I felt like that shouldn't have happened with other circumstances. But it is what it is. I'm happy to get win number 4. Should be more, sure, but I'll still take 4.
Well, great job tonight, man. It's obviously earned this evening, and go send some shouts whoever you like to.
Yeah, Richard Beasley, of course, P11. He was really upset during the race. I had to calm him down. He was in my chat trying to figure out strategies. He came back. I think he was upset at Joe Hudson, but I looked at it. It was just a racing deal. But yeah, he did pretty good. P11. Definitely want to shout out Chad. I don't know what happened to him, but towards the end of that race, I felt like he had a good shot to finish top 5 or close to it. He was battling me pretty close, and then now that I see he's at 19, so I'm guessing something happened to him. But overall, I think we did okay. I think we could have done a lot better with the racing, but I appreciate you guys. Put on the broadcast. I'm gonna go watch it tonight and see how it all looked, and definitely going to look forward to whatever the race is next and try to put some more practice in there, because I told Joey, I was like, man, I'm not happy about this decision, so all it's going to do is make me try a lot harder. So this is kind of where I'm at now, and I'll be trying even harder every single race all the way through the end of the season. So this is where we're at. Well, I appreciate you guys.
No problem. Well, check the rear bumper of your car. I'm told there's a lot of Nerf darts on it from Chad, but
yeah.
Either way, no, great job tonight. Congratulations. And Charlotte, by the way, is next week. So
awesome. That's even more fun. Appreciate it.
There you go. No problem. Kevin King, the winner here tonight in Darlington. Congratulations to him on the 4th win of the season. Obviously, he has to yeah, it's his right to be mad about whatever decision was made. That's part of racing. Unfortunately, is the agreements and disagreements you're going to have. But the call is the call, and the rule is the rule, and so on and so forth. But either way, he got win number 4 tonight. So Kevin King, congratulations to him on getting that. And let's pull up the point standings. I mentioned earlier that Wesley Donaldson's likely in the points playoffs as of now, and looky there. 19th in points officially now in the playoffs as of right now. Rod Mittens still the bubble guy by 1 over Friary, Colby, Ronalasso. Cody Giles at one point, if I remember correctly, was sitting up in the top 5 in points. And he is now in 24th in points after what has happened here. Unfortunately, the wheels have fallen off that 5 car, and hopefully we can get him back going here sooner rather than later. But there's the bubble, of course, Mitten by 1 right now. And 20 drivers get in, and there's a certain amount of races you have to race to be able to get in there. But right now, everybody, for the most part, looks like is within the limits that are on this screen. So, but, wow. What a race it was, Kev, as we have survived Darlington. And next we head up the road to the Queen City Charlotte Motor Speedway and go racing there. And I've got a debate here. Do I show up on Thursday night and run GOAT at Charlotte?
That sounds like a good
I
plan.
love that track.
We need to do the Wednesday night thing.
Well, when's I got a broadcast?
We were going to do the...
Well, yeah, that's on an off week. When I get the off week, we're going to do that.
Okay.
It's coming soon. So,
Charlotte would be fun, sure.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I do it or not. Well, it all works out.
I have to say to Kevin King, say what you want, whether it sounds like sour grapes or he is correct. I love the fact that he calls it out and that it just shows how much passion he has after all these years to be motivated to just, what is the answer? Like, your local racetrack, somebody gets checked and maybe they say something's, you're 5 pounds light and they take the win away or something like that. Then they come back and they kick your butt the next 4 weeks in a row. So, yeah, I don't blame them. I think that would be, every win is treasured in any racer's mind. So, yeah, that motivation is, boy, that they've awoken the giant here.
And we'll see what happens as we go into the future here and go from there. But Kevin already 8 poles this season, 4 wins, 8 top 10s. He's been the guy to beat so far this season, and looks like the only thing stopping him right now is a penalty in a race. So far, but we'll see. Still got plenty of races to go, and that's why we run them, right? So,
yeah.
But Kevin, I appreciate your time. Happy Mother's Day, by the way, to all the moms. I know we haven't really said anything till tonight, but definitely want to get out there. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. So, Kev, appreciate it, man. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Had a blast.
Absolutely, as always, man. Kevin England, as always, joining us up here in the booth. Big shout out to Sim500 for allowing us to broadcast the races. NC811.org for, of course, sponsoring this series each and every Sunday and Monday night. We're back on track next Sunday, by the way, in the 811 Xfinity series after taking Mother's Day Sunday off. And we'll be back at it next Sunday, as that race will be ran at the track known as, this is called Stalling, by the way. Nowhere. We're actually off the next 3 weeks. Look at that. I just realized. All-Star Week off Sunday. I looked at the schedule. We're off till June, basically, for that one. June 2nd at Michigan. So get a few weeks off there from that one. So there we go. We're back next Monday here from Charlotte, from the Queen City. So we'll go from there. That's how that all works out. Enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. Enjoy your week at work, and hopefully you have a good, successful one. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. And just for the viewers, by the way, to celebrate Throwback Night, I played it earlier. I'll play it again as we go out. Enjoy some ELP, the old throwback music to Sim500 back in its heyday as we head out. Remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you...
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.